Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Apex irons from Callaway.
Here's a snapshot of the 5 major champions of the women's game this year. Nelly Korda kicked it off at the Chevron Championship, part of that incredible run of 5 consecutive victories earlier this season. Yuka Sasso won her second U.S. Women's Open. Amy Yang and Ayaka Footaway became first-time major winners, and then Lydia Ko capping it off with that win at St. Andrews. Happy to welcome in friend of the show, Golf Channel contributor Ron Sirak. And Ron, a busy day for the women's game. Let's start with what we saw a day ago, yesterday. Your thoughts on that finish down the stretch and how it's Ko who's the one who ends up holding the trophy.
You know, I think we're solidly into the third act of the Lydia Ko story. We had the teenage phenom. Then we had her lost in the woods for a few years. Now she spent the last few years fighting her way back, and she really showed that grit and resolve yesterday. I, for one, take her promise or her vow to retire at the age of 30 sort of seriously, but that's still 3 years away. She has a whole lot more she can accomplish, and I think she's going to be motivated over these next 3 years, and I think this third act of her career could be really, really exciting.
I mean, that career Grand Slam now within reach. She has 3 of the 5 legs. We got to put this in perspective. And she was joking how her mom was saying, oh, you were better at 15. But you look at the last 3 weeks, a gold medal, a major championship, and not just a major, AIG Women's Open at St. Andrews. When you think of great accomplishments in the game, and specifically for Lydia, where does that stack up?
Yeah, you know, when she won the Olympic gold, I said then, I don't think anybody ever accomplished as much on one day as she did there. Qualifying, winning gold, getting into the Hall of Fame, doing the Olympic triple. And I think right now, she has lifted herself to another look. She's got 3 major championships. One more, she's got 4. That's top 20 all time. 3 more, and that's a stretch, but 3 more over the next 3 years. She's top 10 all time in major championships. So she has fully got her feet back underneath her and is, I think, again, playing with the passion of a kid again. I think she's playing with that joy of a kid again.
So you said you take her musings about retiring at 30 semi-serious, but after her win at the Olympics, the victory yesterday, the potential history that she's going to be chasing in the very near future, could you see a potentially revised timeline for Ko as far as when she steps away from the game, considering she's playing at such an elite level right now?
She is, but there's still 3 years until she's 30. You know, there's a whole lot she could accomplish, and then and you know, goals, plans always can change. I think she's a very, very complicated, smart woman who looks at the world beyond golf and is trying to think of what would be next in her life. And I think she probably has a plan there. She probably has an agenda she's going to follow. But I, for one, am very, very excited to see what she's going to do for us over these next 3 years. I think we're going to see a burst of great golf like we saw in her teenage years.
That would be incredible for golf fans. And speaking
Yes.
of a teenage phenom in pending retirements, Lexi Thompson has said this is going to be her final full season on the LPGA Tour, but has left the door open to play some big events down the road. She seemed very emotional crossing the Swilken Bridge yesterday. Was this the last time we're going to see Thompson in a major championship?
You know, when Annika stepped away, I was sure I'd never see her again out there as a full-time player. When Lorraine Ochoa stepped away, I was sure I'd never see her again out there as a full-time player. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Lexi maybe take a year off and come back. She's still so young. She's still so talented. I do think she needs some time to recharge her batteries. And she's done this before. She took a month off during the middle of the season at one point, 2018, to recharge her batteries. I would not be at all surprised if she steps away from the game for a little while, gets her energy back, gets her passion for the game back, and then returns.
Now the focus is always going to be on the captain's picks, and we saw them earlier. Ron, your thought on the 4 players that Pettersen chose to round out her 12-player squad?
Well, she's really put together an incredibly experienced team here. Anna Nordquist it was a no-brainer. She's won 15 Solheim Cup matches. People don't realize Georgia Hall's won 8 Solheim Cup matches. And I think that Albin Valenzuela is looking down the road. It was only the second rookie to the team. She added as something to get her some experience for down there. Emily Christine Pettersen is probably the one that could be the most controversial in all of them. But look at what they she's got. Of the 10 players that she has who have played in the Solheim Cup before, 8 of them have winning records. Just a phenomenal, and 8 of the 12 players on the European team cut their games, hone their games in American college golf. This team is very experienced, very deep.
And she's bringing 10 of the same faces she had a year ago, 10 of the 12. Yeah. So looking at the 12 players that make up this roster, you don't have a single one of them who have won this season on the LPGA Tour, which is kind of mind-blowing. Last year, Pettersen's team had 3 winners with 5 victories between them. So it doesn't appear that they're carrying in top form when we have the Solheim Cup just 2 weeks from now.
There are a lot of players, though, who play better in the team competitions like the Solheim Cup than they do in regular tour events. Anna Nordqvist definitely is somebody who's had a distinguished career on the LPGA Tour. But Charlie Hall, I think she's a better Solheim Cup player than she has been a regular tour player. Carlotta Saganda is just fierce Solheim Cup player. She has the players on her team who are really wired for this kind of event. They're wired for what the emotion of the Solheim Cup is going to be like, and they are very have that mentality of team golf players.
This is the part that I love, the build-up to a Solheim Cup. Who's going to play with who? When it comes to team chemistry, you have, let's say, Leona Maguire or Charlie Hull. They played well together a year ago. You also have the Swedes, Lynn Grant, Maya Stark grew up together. What kind of pairings do you think we're going to see from the captain?
She's going to have a lot of flexibility in her pairings because of how much experience she has on the team. I mean, you could put Carlotta Saganda with anybody out there. Anna Nordqvist is a ferocious both a 4-ball player and alternate shot player. So I think that you're going to see her come out a little bit on that first day with some pairings that will then determine what she does in the further sessions. I think that she's going to experiment a little bit, but she has so much flexibility here, an enormous amount of flexibility.
Before we let you go, let's take a look at the 9 Americans who did automatically qualify for the Solheim Cup. And this is what the roster looks like so far for U.S. captain Stacy Lewis. She will have 3 captain's picks. You're going to find those out tomorrow on Golf Channel. So you see the headliners, of course, Nelly Korda, Lilia Vu, Lauren Coughlin. And you dig deeper, Allie Ewing, Allison Corpuz, Megan Kang, Allison Lee, Rose Zhang, and Andrea Lee. So we see that so far. Ron, what do you think of the team makeup with it being 75% of the total roster?
It's also a pretty deep team because an experienced team. Only 1 rookie in there, Coughlin. But there's nobody. She doesn't really have the Anna Nordqvist or the Carlotta Saganda, some of those who've been there a half dozen times. She has a chance to put one of those on there tomorrow with her pick, and I expect her to do that. I expect that Lexi might be one of the picks that she puts in there to she's played 6 times in the competition. But the American team, also experienced, also deep, not quite as experienced as the European team, but this is going to be an incredible competition. It's just gotten, since I'd say 2011, it's gotten better every year in terms of intensity.
Yeah, it certainly has. It was ratcheted up a year ago, and I mean, we'll only wonder what it's going to be like in September. Thank you, Ron. And as I mentioned, tomorrow we're all going to wait and see. Stacy Lewis is going to make her final 3 captain's picks. She will do so right here on Golf Channel. You can see the announcement on Golf Today. That'll be coming your way at 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Damon Hack and Ryan Lavender on the desk.